Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Muhammad Syakir Zufairi bin Muhammad Tarzimi. And today I'm going to talk about my friend's artwork, which is the title is Cintayu and Kuda Kepang by Raja Lok Rashdi Raja Roslan. Created in 2013 using acrylic and airbrush on canvas. Size 153 by 243 cm. This artwork actually became my main reference for my own masterpiece, which is based on the legend of Naga Tasik. So basically, this work combines two elements from Malay myth, the Cintayu bird and the Kuda Kepang dance. Both are really symbolic in Malay culture. The Cintayu represents gentleness, wisdom, and balance of nature, while Kuda Kepang represents spirit, bravery, and spirituality. When both are put together, the artwork becomes a celebration of Malay cultural identity and spiritual energy, but done in a more modern visual style. To me, it's not just about folklore, it's about how we keep our culture relevant in today's modern world. That's why, for my own work, I'm shifting from this spiritual myth to nature-based myth, focusing on the connection between humans and nature through the story of Naga Tasik. In terms of style, Cintayu and Kuda Kepang is expressive and semi-realistic with some surrealism element. You can really feel the movement and energy from the brushstroke and color choice. The airbrush technique gives a soft and flowing feeling, almost like wind and light moving through the scene. There are a lot of swirling lines and abstract shapes that reflect the rhythm of the dance. So this is my last semester artwork. For my own artwork, I'm also continuing that energy, but I combine the influence of two artists, which is Christine Das, which is known for her rhythmic organic lines, and Jin Woo, who's more expressive and textural with darker tones and curved lines. So Christine's influence give my work that fluid, natural rhythm, while Jin Woo add realism, strength, and texture. Together, they help me balance between fantasy and reality, which fits perfectly with the myths of Tasik. When we look at Cintayu and Kuda Kepang, the composition is really dynamic. The movement of the horse and the bird was placed perfectly. The color palette is symbolic, which is, for example, blue for calmness and nature, red for energy and courage, and gold for spiritual and royal meaning. The airbrush effects creates this misty, dreamlike atmosphere, like it exists between the two worlds, the real and the supernatural. For my work, Naga Tasik, I continue the experiment but add more texture to show the water element and the lake environment. I will use wavy lines to represent the dragon's movement underwater and soft glowing highlight to show light coming through the surface. That may becomes my focal point. So if we look at this artwork, the lines are really dynamic. They swirl around and make the Cintayu and the Kuda Kepang feel like they are moving. The colors blue, red, and gold really pop and give that strong spiritual energy. You can also see how the space feels layers, almost like two different worlds. The composition is nicely balanced between the Cintayu and the horse, and the bright areas in the clouds becomes the main focal point that pulls your eyes in. So overall, I see Cintayu and Kuda Kepang not just as painting of folklore, but as a symbol of cultural resilience, how we can bring traditional Malay stories into a modern context. In my own work, I am inspired by Naga Tasik and I want to revive Malay myths in a refreshed and contemporary visual language, something expressive, spiritual, and connected to nature. For me, it's not only about the dragon or the lake, it's about showing how humans and nature are spiritually linked and how myth can remind us of that balance. So, yeah, that's basically the story behind my reference and how it inspires my artwork. Thank you.